Climate change is one of the most pressing challenges of our time, with significant impacts on ecosystems, economies, and societies. Reducing carbon emissions and investing in renewable energy are crucial to mitigating this effect. Effective business diplomacy is needed to align corporate strategies, government policies, and NGO efforts to achieve substantial progress. This diplomacy aims to discuss and negotiate a comprehensive strategy for carbon reduction and renewable energy investment, focusing on corporate, government, NGO, expert, and media.
Hello, my name is Shalindra Dian with the student ID 260-219-7330, and I am the representative of Indonesian media.
Hello everyone, I'm Anastasia Prati Putri Kantole with student ID 260216123, and I am a representative of the Indonesian government.
Hello, my name is Amanda Devia Zelia with NIM 2602197394.
Hello everyone, my name is Rizal Fiansyah and I am an expert providing insight on technological advancements and best practices for renewable energy.
Hello, I am Razi Darfes Junaidi and I am representative from NGO.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I would like to thank each one of you for your attendance. I am sure that we all have the same concerns and goals about climate change since we have gathered today to discuss a critical issue for our future. As the urgency of climate action grows, we are diving into the latest public concerns, policies, and the roles of businesses, governments, and also NGOs in tackling this global challenge. Today, we cover the ongoing climate change discussion, public sentiment on current policies, and what people think about proposed practices by NGOs. I am Shalindra Dian, representing Indonesian National News Agency, or commonly known as Antara News. According to the recent data, Indonesia has seen the full impact of this phenomenon. Last year was the hottest year on record in our country, with average temperature rising substantially. The Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysical Agent, or BMKG, reported that the average temperature in Indonesia increased by 1.2 Celsius compared to the pre-industrial era. The impact is felt in various critical areas, including agriculture, which concerns to food security and the growing frequency of natural disasters such as floods and droughts. These real cases underscore the urgent need for effective climate action and collaborative efforts to secure a sustainable future for Indonesia and the world. Collaborative efforts between governments, private sectors, NGOs, and also civil society are crucial to mitigating the adverse effects of climate change and building a resilient future for Indonesia. With this in mind, we will have our discussion with question and answer session to explore the various parties' understanding and perspectives. To start, I would like to begin our discussion by posing a question for the government representatives. The question is, how do you see the influence of climate change in Indonesia during the last few years? And what are the primary policies that have been and will be adopted in Indonesia to combat climate change? For the government representatives, the stage is yours.
Thank you for the questions. It was very interesting questions, and here I am, speaking as a representative of Indonesian government. When we talk about climate change, we all know that this is the thing that we have to address it as quickly as feasible, because climate change has a significant impact on Indonesia, with record high temperatures, increased frequency of natural disasters, and serious effect for agriculture and food security. In fact, 2023 was the hottest year on record, with temperatures above 38 degrees Celsius in certain parts and the country saw 4,938 natural disasters, including floods and forest fires, leading to significant loss of life and displacement millions. In response, the Indonesian government has set ambitious emissions reduction targets, including reducing emissions by 29% below business as usual level by 2030 and reaching net zero emissions by 2060. The government is also increasing renewable energy use with a target of 23% of natural energy use by 2025. Initiatives like the REDD Plus program aim to prevent deforestation while promoting sustainable practices. Addressing climate change requires effective collaborations among diverse stakeholders involving integrated and multi-sectoral approaches, public-private partnerships, and community engagement. Balancing economic growth with environmental sustainability is a critical challenge for Indonesia, which aims to achieve a minimum economic growth rate of 6% to 7% by 2045. Innovative financing mechanisms such as Green Sukuk have been created to mobilize private capital for sustainable projects. Indonesia can mitigate climate change effect by establishing strong policies, fostering partnerships, and involving people while maintaining economic growth and working toward a resilient and sustainable future. That's all from me, and thank you.
Thank you for your detailed response. It's encouraging to hear that the Indonesian government is taking significant steps to combat climate change and ensure a sustainable future for Indonesia. Now, moving on to our next question for Pertamina. How does Pertamina plan a long-term response considering all of the Indonesian government's targets? Or is there a specific program that Pertamina intends to launch? Additionally, what are the main challenges for Pertamina to encounter during this process? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Shalindra, for the questions. As said earlier, the government has set ambitious emission reduction targets, including reducing emissions by 29% below business as usual levels in 2030 and achieving net zero emissions by 2060. The government is also increasing the use of renewable energy with a target of 23% of national energy use by 2025. Speaking as a representative of Pertamina, I would like to state that as a leading national oil company and state-owned enterprise, Pertamina is committed to advancing in green and sustainable energy solutions that align with Indonesia's emission reduction targets. Our dedication is reflected in a key pillar of energy transitions. These include upgrading refineries to produce environmentally friendly fuels, expanding bioenergy through biomass and bioethanol development, optimizing geothermal potential, and advancing hydrogen commercializations. Initiatives such as enhancing energy efficiency with LED lighting and adopting carbon capture, utilizations, and storage technology in oil and gas operations underscore our commitment. These efforts are integral to our broader missions of reducing our carbon footprint and supporting Indonesia's ambitious goal of cutting emissions by 29% in 2030. And since 2010, Pertamina has rigorously conducted GHG emissions inventories and transparently reported our results to meet regulatory standards. These include implementing carbon capture, utilization, and storage or CCUS technology across several oil and gas fields, which are crucial steps towards cleaner energy productions and operational sustainability, and including the National Action Plan for Greenhouse Gas Emission Reductions or RENGRK. Our commitment extends beyond operational enhancement to community engagement, exemplified by initiatives like Pertamina Hijau. This program promotes low carbon emissions falls under the Blue Sky program that fostering sustainable practice within society. By focusing on regulatory compliance and emission reduction targets, Pertamina aims to contribute actively to Indonesia's journey towards net zero emissions. With our goal to reducing carbon dioxide or CO2 emissions by 81.4 million tons by 2060, aligned with national and international sustainability objectives. Despite our proactive stance to promote this initiative, we have encountered challenges during this journey. These include technical complexities in implementing CCUS technologies effectively, regulatory compliance hurdles, and the need for continuous investment in innovation solutions to enhance energy efficiency and reduce emissions further. Moreover, ensuring comprehensive monitoring and reporting of GHG emissions across our operations remain a critical focus area to meet regulatory requirements and internal benchmarks.
Thank you, Pertamina. So, in response to Pertamina's initiatives, their commitment to advancing green and sustainable energy solutions through various strategies are pivotal in supporting Indonesia's emissions reduction targets and promoting operational sustainability. Given the long-term strategies and specific initiatives indicated by companies, as well as the obstacles they confront, I would like to propose another question for NGO. How can non-governmental organizations help to ensure that their efforts are inclusive for most vulnerable groups? Are there any particular education or advocacy program in place or planned by non-governmental organizations to help companies and governments execute climate change mitigation plans?
Okay, thank you for the question. As an NGO, I highly appreciate the effort made by company and government in implementing long-term strategy for climate change mitigation. However, we also recognize the importance of ensuring that these efforts are inclusive and sensitive to the needs of the most vulnerable group in society. Yeah, NGO can contribute in several ways. First, we run various educational programs and awareness campaigns to ensure the information about the impact of climate change and mitigation measures is accessibility to all segments of society. Through workshops, seminars, and social media, we strive to spread knowledge about the importance of inclusivity in environmental policies. Second, we collaborate with companies to help them identify and address barriers in implementing inclusive mitigation plans. This includes providing training on diversity and inclusion, as well as assisting in designing CSR programs that focus on vulnerable communities. Third, we have programs focused on strengthening the capacity of local community to adapt to the climate change. This including training of sustainable agriculture, disaster risk management, and the use of eco-friendly technology. Okay, now we go to point 4. We conduct research and provide data and reports that can help company and government understand the social and economic impact of their climate policies. This data is crucial to ensure that the policies not only effectively reduce emissions but are also fair and do not burden vulnerable groups. Finally, we advocate for government to adopt policies that support inclusivity in climate change mitigation. This includes pushing for greater funding for projects that benefit vulnerable community and implementing regulations that ensure community involvement in decision-making process. Let me highlight some specific programs we have implemented or planned. Our climate justice education program focuses on climate justice, providing community with an understanding of how climate change can sharpen social and economic inequality and how they can get involved mitigation efforts. We also offer green skill training for vulnerable community such as sustainable agriculture, renewable energy, and eco-friendly craft. To help them adapt and benefit from green economy, additionally, our community reliance projects are designed to increase community reliance to the impact of climate change through the development green infrastructure, water resources management, and early warning system. With this initiative, we hope to ensure that climate change mitigation efforts are more inclusive and responsive to the needs of the most vulnerable community, we believe that collaboration between NGO, company, and government is a key to achieving fair and sustainable solution. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for outlining your comprehensive approach to climate change mitigation and inclusivity. As we all know that collaborative efforts between NGOs, companies, and governments are indeed crucial for achieving a fair and sustainable solution on climate challenges. Now, let us turn to the climate change experts. Taking into consideration the importance of NGOs in public education and advocacy, as well as the problems they encounter in information dissemination, what are the top objectives for Indonesia in handling climate change according to experts based on the most recent research? How can stakeholders collaborate more effectively to overcome this challenge?
Thank you for your question, which underscores the critical need for comprehensive strategies in addressing climate change in Indonesia. Based on the latest research, Indonesia's primary objective in tackling climate change revolve around three key areas: emissions reduction, forest conservation, and community resilience. First, emission reduction. Indonesia is committed to reducing its carbon emissions significantly by 2030. Achieving this requires accelerating the transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. Additionally, improving energy efficiency in industrial process and public transportation system is essential to lessen our carbon footprint. Second is forest conservation. As a home to some of the world's most extensive tropical forests, Indonesia recognize the importance of preserving these natural resources. Our objective include not only protecting existing forests cover from illegal logging and land conservation, but also engaging in reforestation efforts that restore degraded areas. This approach not only combats climate change but also protects biodiversity. Third, community resilience, enhancing the resilience of our community, particularly those most vulnerable to the adverse effects of climate change, because it is crucial. This involves developing infrastructure that can withstand extreme weather events and implementing local adaptation strategies that allow communities to manage and recover from environmental impact effectively. And finally, collaboration among stakeholders to effectively address the objectives. Collaborative approach is paramount. First is governmental roles. Governments need to enforce and enhance policies that encourage sustainable practices, after initiative for green investment, and provide the framework for environmental governance that includes resource monitoring and accountability. Second, the NGO contribution are pivotal in educating the public or advocating for environmental justice and ensuring that communities' voices are heard in the policy-making process. Their role in mobilizing grassroots movement and influencing policy cannot be overstated. And the third is private sector engagement. Companies have the resource and capabilities to innovate solutions that reduce environmental impact. Their investment in sustainable technologies and practices is crucial for achieving our national object. And lastly, community involvement. The active participation of local communities ensure that the solutions are tailored to meet specific needs and are sustainable in the long term. Community-led initiatives often lead to more effective conservation efforts and the successful implementation of adaptation strategies. In this summary, by uniting the strengths and resources of all stakeholders, government, NGO, the private sector, and the communities, Indonesia can forge a resilient, sustainable path forward in the face of climate change challenges. Our collective action is the cornerstone of our success in this global fight. Thank you.
Thank you to all our panelists and participants for engaging in this crucial discussion on climate change. Today, we have heard insightful perspectives from government's representatives, corporate leaders, NGOs, and climate change experts, highlighting the urgent need for collaborative action to address the impact of climate change in Indonesia. I encourage all stakeholders to continue their collaborative efforts, innovate future urgency, and prioritize the well-being of all Indonesians and navigate the complexities of climate change. Together, we can achieve meaningful progress towards a greener, more resilient Indonesia and a healthier planet for future generations. Thank you once again for participation and commitment to the vital cause.